Yeah, so we live right now. Yeah.
We live, man, but we're waiting
Yeah.
for everybody to
Yep.
come on into the group, man. Come on in, everybody. I said that
Yes.
we live, so like I said, man, definitely take your friends, your spouses, your baby mamas, man. Should tell everybody, man. First round is back live this week.
Yes, we are definitely back live. We definitely not throwing shade like Sean Payton either. Just letting y'all know. Yeah. So, yeah. Man, y'all can y'all believe that this summertime is almost over?
Man, that's man,
It's almost
bro.
football. Good thing about
I'll
this
say
is
the
football
same thing,
season.
man. Honestly, B, when I saw the SEC media days last week, man, that's really hit, man. It's like, you know what? Like you said, the best time, the most wonderful time of the year, man. Shoot, I wish I could start playing that song right now, man. But the most wonderful time of the year is about to come up.
Yes, it is, man.
And then I think it's like 35 or some days, or at least less than 35 days before the first college football playoff games. Like,
It was like 41, I think, because they had
What?
like 41-0 for Georgia against Tennessee. It was like, yeah, Reggie what happened with the Braves yesterday?
Hey, don't do that now.
They pitched, bro. They pissed me off
Hold
so
on, hold on.
bad.
I'll tell you exactly what it is, man. Honestly, it's a perfect combination of injuries, of the pitching being complete ass,
Yeah.
and the hitting slump. It's just all of the above, man. The injuries are starting to take notice, man. We all know, man. The bullpen is ass. That's why I'm hoping Double A does something, bro.
Right. Yeah,
Double A.
But I mean, it really. Hey, listen though, like let's be honest with the Braves. Like,
Ooh, it's coming out.
you can't win them all. You know what I'm saying? At some point, attrition sets in, and you go through. You can call it a hitting slump, but I mean, at some point, it just you can only be in baseball especially. You can only be that good for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
162 games. Yeah.
Huh?
I said, yeah, it's 162 games, and a whole lot can happen in those 162 games.
Yeah, and they got real fucking hot in June and July. Like they got crazy hot. Like
Yeah. Just wish that could have been next month. Or
yeah, I was about to say.
I mean, you want to, but listen though, what you really want, you get hot in June and July, like they got hot in June and July, right? You late July, little part of August, you might get into a little slump, but then them bats get back hot when it matters, and that's in September and October.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I mean, it'll play itself out, man. Them boys been looking too good though. Like,
absolutely.
It make you happy to be a fan of any team in Atlanta at that point, because it's hard to be a fan of a team in Atlanta. Goddamn.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't let him speak. We didn't let him speak for a little bit. Now we got to introduce him, man.
Yeah, we got a show going on right now. And by the way,
I think we're definitely about ready, man. Shoot,
yeah.
You need to introduce the show, man.
That is true. That is true.
Man.
Welcome to episode 112 of the First Rounders, Club 112. It's your boy B. Willingham, aka TJ Yates.
Club 112 with the special guest.
Yes, with the special guest.
With the very special guest, man. But yo, man, this is your boy, the real Reggie, aka Young Clifton, man. Let's go, man. I'm definitely glad, man. I'm hyped for this one. I'll be ready for this one, man, for a while.
What's up? Woo, yeah, we've been waiting on this. Hey, y'all know who it is. Cooper Rivers in the building, reporting live from Hillbilly Town, Kentucky.
Shit. Yes.
But we want to give a big shout out. We've been trying to get this man on for a little bit, but you know, he's a father, he's a husband, he's a son, he's a coach. The new head football coach at Johnson High School in good old SAV, and that's Savannah, Georgia, for y'all people that don't know what's happening.
That 912.
Our friend from Georgia Southern,
Yep.
a track
Fellow Georgia
star,
Southern.
a track star from Florida International that came to Georgia Southern. Hey, I read up on you, big dog. And hey, man, just happy to have him on the show, man. Good old Stephen Blotto Smith.
Also, don't forget. Hold on, don't forget. He also Phi Beta Sigma Zone, man.
You know.
Hey, man, I can't say nothing about that.
Hey, Sigma Steve.
Y'all got it.
Oh shit! Hey.
Phi Beta Sigma Zone, man. Like I said, man.
Welcome to the show, man. Welcome to the show.
Hey, I appreciate y'all having me, man. When when y'all reached out, man, I was honored, man. I really appreciate it. You know, just the respect that you guys put into the work that y'all do. So, I'm honored to be here, man, and I'm looking forward to having a great show with y'all, man.
Oh yeah.
Shit, bro. The honor is all ours, man. Like I said, man, you definitely blessing us to to get on here, and I know you definitely have a lot of knowledge. And like I said, you already know, man. You're the first head football coach, of any kind to be on the show. So, like I said, I'm just ready for this now that you're about to bless on us and our listeners, man. So, again, just big shout out to you.
Let you know, goddamn. Hey, put that pressure on your boy. Hey,
you good, man. Like I said, we family now, so you know.
Oh yeah, man. But no, man. But it's all good though, man. Like I said, again, just appreciate you and your time, and again, congratulations, for this big step in your career, and I'm just ready to just get this started, brother.
For sure.
Ready to get this started, man.
Let's get right into it, man.
Yes, we shall. Hey, man. First question, big dog. What was it? A person? Or was it something that happened in your life that got you going in coaching? What got you going in coaching?
I'd be remiss if I didn't tell you. It was like, to be honest, man, it was like a sign from God, man. When I was at Georgia Southern, and I got down there and I was looking for a track program that they didn't have, and we were doing the club stuff, and I was registering for classes, and I needed a class and my elective course, the only thing that really kind of intrigued me was coaching football. I was like, yo, let me get into this little coaching football course, this kinesiology course. Because at the time, I was a math major. When I first got to Georgia Southern, I was a math major, and I needed an elective course, and the only thing that kind of intrigued me on the list that was left was coaching football. And so I got into coaching football, and when you get into coaching football, you obviously got to be in the field and actually do some football coaching. And so at that time, my first year coaching football ended up being at the rec department with, at the time, was our who was it? He was our dean of students, George Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah, so George Lewis, he was actually my very first coach that I coached underneath. I coached his son. We was at the rec department. It was the Tennessee Volunteers. That's my very first time coaching a Bullitt County rec department. And when I did it, I was like, hey, I really enjoyed this. So I knew I wanted to coach football, man, and then I kind of got trickled into a coaching clinic, and then I met a coach at a high school, and my foot in the door was actually coaching track. And I was coaching track for a little bit, and then eventually they finally gave me my opportunity to coach football, and I never looked back after that. I even changed my major and everything, so I could just to be a head football coach one day.
One day, and the day came, and when that day came, what were you doing when you found out? Like, did somebody surprise you with the news, or did they have a big conference? Like, what happened? When they told you you'd be the new head coach?
Shout out to Coach Bonner, Ken Derrick, man. He's at Rockdale right now. And so I kind of already knew he was on his way out. You know, he had told me, and so I was just in my mind, hey, I'm a football coach. Like you hear a lot of coaches will tell you, if we not coaching, we probably not at the school. And so, you know, when I applied for the job, I wanted it. You know what I'm saying? Like some people apply for it and say, let me see if I can get it. But I felt like I was the best guy for the job. And so when they brought me into the office, they sat me down after the interviews were over with, and it was just that time for the hiring. And my athletic director and my principal, they just kind of looked at me and said, hey, man, we're gonna let you take over the reins. We had some dudes we interviewed. We just felt like you were the best man for the job to continue. Because Coach Bonner did a great job while he was at Johnson, man. We went from a program that hadn't won a game in 3 years to steadily building wins over the past. In the last 3 years of Coach Bonner's tenure, man, probably been some of the best 3 years in the school's history. We had back-to-back playoff appearances and then follow that with 2 5-5 seasons. And so just moving in the right direction, I felt like I could continue to build upon that instead of basically starting over from scratch, bringing in a new regime and having the kids have to learn that trust all over again. I felt like I could continue. So it wasn't like a grandiose thing. It was one of those, for me, it was a relief. It was a relief. I had an interview for another job prior to that, and I ended up coming in second to that job. And so just them letting me know it's like, how can I explain it? It's like, it's not the finish line for me. You know what I'm saying? It's like the registration table. Like I do so much just to get to this point. Now I'm registered. So now it's time to run the marathon.
Good stuff, man. Now, I mean, you mentioned that Johnson's been coming up. You already said of course 5-5 may not be too much of a big deal to some of our listeners though, man. But I've lived in Savannah for a long time, man. Like I said, for Johnson, 5-5 for Johnson, that is definitely building up, man. Because I remember back when I was in school, even though I went to Jenkins, one of the few schools that we can actually depend on the win was Johnson. Johnson was in a bad state.
Dang. That's crazy too.
I was back in school, man. So it was definitely just.
I mean, when you pull up to a program, man, and you got 3 homecoming games and none of them yours.
There you go.
Yeah.
You know what it is. So, coming in, I mean, just coming in with Bonner, man, getting those 2 wins off the bat, like really kind of separating ourselves from the bottom. Like you got bad programs and stuff like that, but just immediately there are teams that we just, since we've been here, we haven't lost to. Like just kind of setting that standard of saying, okay, yeah, there are some bad teams, but like you're never gonna call us one of these 2 teams anymore, or one of these teams. Like I think we do since we've been here, we've tried to build football players. And a big part of being a football coach is developing guys. Some people kind of prey on, hey, I really just need the talent. Like some guys are good X's and O's. They're not really good motivators. They're not really good at pulling the best out of kids and the best out of players. And so, they predicate their success off of having talent. Like I gotta have talent to be successful. One of the things that I think we've done a pretty good job of over the past 5 years is not really worrying about who the guys are, just making sure that they can play to the best of their ability and not worrying about if they're 4-star, 5-star guy or begging guys to come. We're real big on loyalty. If you want to be with us, come be with us. We're going to coach you up. We're going to put you in the best position to be successful. If you got your academics right, we're going to try to get you into college. But as far as like, us, we not begging. If some coaches out there that's begging kids to come to their school, I ain't never really been in the business of that, man. I rather a kid be in my program that want to be there. That's huge for me because they're gonna give you everything they got if they want to be there. That's just kind of how it is right now. But I'm loving every second of it, man. Everything I could have dreamed of, man. It's like it's like a dream come true so far.
Okay, good stuff, man. Good stuff, man. I think you already touched on it though, man. But again, you said you're basically almost like a continuation of what of what Coach Bonner did. And again, shout out to Coach Bonner, another Georgia Southern Eagle. So definitely, shout out to that good man as well. And
Southern.
of course, another one of one of those Steve's, frat brothers, man. So definitely shout out, to the boys of blue in the home team, Pyro. So definitely always shout out to y'all guys, man. But I know that, of course, man. You and Coach Bonner are different cats, man. So you're gonna always have to, put your own, flavor or spin on the program, though. So what do you think you bring now, to the Johnson Adams Smashers? That you said that I'm going to implement this in order to make us not just a school on the rise though, but actually true playoff contenders, man. What do you think you bring now to the program now that you're the head coach, Steve?
I think as a coach, I think programs take on the personality of the leader in charge. And one thing about Coach Bonner, man, he was real orderly, got stuff done, no bones about it, get it out the mud type of guy. And it was easy to follow up under that leadership. And I feel like that foundation that he laid will allow me to step into my own, which is I have more of a cerebral approach. I'm a big film study guy. I'm big on X's and O's. I'm big on making sure guys are in the right spot like a chess match. And so that foundation that we'll always have, that DNA that's going to always be in us, that body, that hard work pay off. Like the hard work part, I never got to coach that hard work part. When we first came in, that's all we preach. Hey, you got to work hard, and it'll pay off. And so like hard work is just like the foundation of our whole building structure. And so now when I get to come in, because I don't have to harp on working hard so much, because that's just what we do now. Now I'm able to go, all right, now you got to take the approach of understanding the game. And I'm real big like film study. Like I'm punishing people if they slacking on film study. I'm making sure you understand your assignment. And so if they're going to take on any piece of personality of their leader, then their personality trait is going to be a cerebral approach, understanding their opponent, understanding themselves, understanding what they're supposed to do, and being better football players. And like that's always going to be the goal for me. The guys who I bring out, who walk out on the field for me, they're going to be prepared and they're going to be disciplined in their craft. Not necessarily disciplined as far as showing up on time. They're going to do that because Bonner does that. Hold on real quick, man. Give me a second.
Man's always busy, man.
Busy man. Yeah.
He was going in. Ooh-wee, son. Ooh-wee.
Yeah. I like the fact he was talking about the loyalty because, some of these football players end up going to places like Buford, a.k.a. Buford University, Grayson, those private schools.
Shout out to Dylan Raiola.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm talking about, too.
Yeah, I mean, and like we'll talk about that whenever you cross that bridge. We can talk about it.
I got some questions. I got some questions a little bit later on, Steve.
That's what you call a tease.
What I was saying though, like at the end of the day, man, I want my guys to be locked in mentally to the game. I want them to be football players. Like you get a lot of athletes, but like my job, I feel like as a head football coach, is to take that athlete and develop them into football players.
Very well, very well. When you we hear you talking about what you got your players doing on the field and how you want them to study and be ready for game day. Is there anything that you as the head coach and your coaching staff, is there anything that y'all do off the field that's helping up players be a model citizen in the
in
the community?
That's a great question, man. I love that question because our motto right now, man, is win, and win is mean whatever is necessary. And so I tell them, man, winning, you can't just be a winner on Friday night, right? You got to be a winner in the community. You got to be a winner in the classroom. Shit, you got to be a winner at the crib. You know what I'm saying? If you at the crib pissing your mom off because you want to do the dishes, or not cutting the grass, or coming in late, or smoking, you know what I'm saying? Like you got to be a winner all the time. So I got a couple of programs. I got a mentorship that we're gonna start implementing when school come back in. I'm gonna take my seniors and have them be mentoring some of the sixth graders at our sister school. We got an IB program, interbaccalaureate program, and so our IB program. I'm gonna take a couple of those seniors, and not just seniors and juniors. And we got another little community service project called IB Reading, and so we gonna take them and go to the elementary school on some days and have them read to the kindergartners and the pre-K kids, and with their jersey, and just show their face in the community. We just did one of my parents in the Booster Club. She does the South Forsyth food market. Shout out to the South Forsyth food market in Savannah, Georgia.
Yeah.
They do a lot. They donate a lot of food. They do a little thing where $10 on your WIC get you $50 of groceries and stuff. So so they we show our face there. We'll help pack some bags. We did a faith walk the other weekend, and so every opportunity that we get to be in the community, man, I tell my kids to get out and show their face, and so people know who they are, and so when they're out hanging around and about, like, people don't think like they're up to no good. You know what I'm saying? I want people, when they see those Johnson kids, to know, hey, those kids do right. Those are the kids that I want my young kids to look up to. Like, I got two sons. My oldest son right now, man, all those kids are like brothers to him, right? They they play with him, they take care of him. My son come to practice, I never worry. Like, when my son's not around or anything, I never worry, because the sense of family that we build at Johnson right now, I know my kids in good hands when I can't see them, because I know his brothers and his sisters, because of my track kids. I know they're gonna take care of them, and so
very good.
Yeah,
very
like
good.
It's big to be in the community, man. It's not a part-time thing.
For sure. So it said, when you say that y'all are family and all that good stuff, it says you were a math teacher. Are you still teaching math right now, or you just, now that you're head coach, you're just head coach and you don't?
Unfortunately. One day I can hang up the pencil and the calculator, but nah, I'm still a math teacher, man. I was actually the department chair for the past year and a half, and once I got the head coaching job, I just kind of let my principal know that responsibility probably end up being too much, as far as being a head football coach and the head track coach and the math department chair. It's just a lot. But shit, I'm a hell of a math teacher though, man. It's hard to get rid of me. It's hard to let me go.
We ain't down the skills, baby. I
was gonna slide into the HPE department, but I'm good at what I do, so they ain't gonna let me do that.
Good stuff, man.
And you said about the family and your not worrying about your kids when you can't see them. When you're not in head coaching mode, and you might just be chilling in your office, or you might just be walking around the school checking on your players, can any of your players just come up to you and be like, "What's up, coach?" or "How's your day going? Can I ask you a question real quick?" And it doesn't have to be about football. Are you that open up as a person to come up to, or you like, "Hey man, don't talk to me right now"?
I'm gonna tell you one thing about me and my kids, man. You'll ask any of my kids that's in my program, man. My kids love me, and the reason this program gonna end up working out for me is because my kids are really loyal to me. So I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you a gem that a dude taught me a long time ago.
Yes, so, bring it, lay it on us.
So, and this came from a math teacher standpoint, but I applied to my coaching. I applied to my coaching as well. He was saying, man, he gets frustrated when he hears teachers go, man, they ain't gotta like me, they just gotta do the work. And you know, and the thing about it is, what he told me was, yeah, but if they like you, they'll be more willing to not let you down. And so they'll be more willing to put in work to be successful because they don't want to let you down. But when they don't like you, they don't care if they fail or not, because I'm a math teacher, so half of the time they walk into the class like, I ain't good at math. So, you know what I'm saying? They like, I'm gonna fail anyway. But when they respect you and they actually like you, letting you down does something to them. And so just them having that respect where they understand that you have a level of respect for them and they have a level of respect for you, it's not about football all the time. You know, I tell my kids, man, my motto is, which I got from Bonner, is you protect the program and the program will protect you. Hold on, give me a second. Shit. My bad. My wife asked me a question and I didn't message her back, and I need to do that right now.
Yes, you do, man.
Yes, you do.
Yes, you do.
That's coming from B. Willingham, the founder of this great show.
Yes. Whatever you do, man. If you need to start to do that, do what you gotta do.
I would say the same thing. Shout out my baby.
Yeah, I got it done.
But I would say the same thing.
Okay.
Hey, don't be too late on that, my boy.
Yeah, but hey, I missed the first text. I seen the eyes.
Hey, you might come. Hold on, wait a minute. Hey, you might come home. Hey, you might come home to Home Depot and change the locks on you.
Oh, okay.
Got the red alert. Red alert.
But yeah, no. So man, but honestly, man, my kids, man. One thing that they respect about me, I'm gonna tell you one thing about these kids, man. Honesty. I'm a very, very honest coach. I let them know where I feel their ability is, and I'm very open with them. You know what I'm saying? I'm very open with the kids. And when I say open, I don't mean like a whole bunch of my personal life. But as far as I'm not going to I don't lie. And the kids respect that I don't lie. So when I get new kids, when they first come in, especially being a track coach, like I give you a piece of information, right? I've been a head track coach for years. So, you know, everybody want to come in and run 100 and a 200. Everybody think they're a sprinter, right? And I'm the one that got to tell the kids, like, hey man, you're not. You a 400 runner, or you an 800 runner, or you might be a miler. Shit, you might be a shot putter. Like you just ain't got that in you. And over the past 5 years, I built that reputation of being honest, but being able to show them, if you just trust me in my evaluation of your talent, I will put you in a spot and I will coach you up and I'll show you how good you can be in that spot if you allow me to. You know, sometimes a kid will come and play football and they think they're a running back, or they might think that they a wide receiver, or they might think they're a safety. And like where my kids respect me at, if I'll go to them and say, hey man, that safety shit don't look too good for you. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, that's not gonna get you on the field. You might want to look at outside linebacker, maybe defensive end. You ain't got the foot speed, you ain't got the ball skills. It ain't gonna get you on the field. You can stay in that safety group, but the odds of you being on the field are greater if you change positions, right? I'm that type of coach, and most of the time, my kids, they'll come to me and they'll be like, you know what, Coach, cool. They trust me because in track, when I told the kids, hey, you a 400 runner instead of a 100 or 200 runner, and I coached them up to be a 400 runner, they had success. So now I got those track kids going to the football kids and just saying, hey, trust Coach Smith. Because even when I took over the track program, like bless Rico Campbell, man. Rico Campbell, he at South Effingham right now. He a Statesboro native. I took over the program for him. He a hell of a track coach. When he was at Statesboro High, he had won like 10 regions in a row with the boys and the girls, like dog. So when I had got over there, like my goal was to like if I could just build up the program from Rico, I'd be proud. And my boys won the region last year, but they were able to win the region because every year we were having success, and they were having success because they were trusting me. And so now that I'm able to take over the football program, those same track kids are telling guys who didn't run track, "Hey, shut the fuck up and just do what Coach Smith said." And like, and that, it makes it easy.
No doubt, man. But yeah, man. I've been wondering, man. Since you are the head man, and because you are, the head man of the football team, that means you need, or at least you have assistants that also help you, run the football team as well. So, what do you look for in an assistant, and what can an assistant bring, or what do you need an assistant to bring in order to be a part of a Coach Stephen Smith football staff?
So rule number one for me, the first thing, whenever I'm talking to a coach, interviewing them and telling them about what I'm looking for, the very first thing I tell them is a relationship building. Like, I don't want you to come into this program with a mindset of I'm about to be this hard ass. All right. Another little gem, right? I'm about to drop another little gem on you.
Ooh, gym time.
A coach at a coaching clinic who's been doing it for a long time, he gave me a quote. That man said, he said, "Rules without relationship leads to rebellion." And the first thing that I tell all my coaches who I interview is, hey, you might know X's and O's, you might be a great motivator, but the very first thing I need you to be able to do is build a relationship with these players, because they ain't gonna care how much you know until they know how much you care. So you need to make sure that they know that you care about them as people, because this football shit ain't gonna last forever. Some of these dudes gonna be done their senior year, they'll never play football again. But what did you deliver to these kids that they can take into the real world that doesn't pertain football, right? Like, my kids know from 3 o'clock to 6 o'clock, I'm gonna yell at them, I'm gonna fuss at them, I'm gonna cuss at them. I'm going 100 mile per hour. They know that part. But they also know before 3 o'clock and after 6 o'clock, I'm gonna take care of them. You hungry? I'm gonna feed you. You need a ride? I got you. You need a couple of dollars to do some shit? I got you. Because I need you to know that I'm not using you as a football player, right? I just want to see you be a better young man than you were yesterday. And so I look for my coaches to have the same mindset. You know what I'm saying? I trust myself to know X's and O's. I trust myself to be a coach's coach. So even if you're not a guy who know a whole bunch of shit about football, I trust myself to help you be a better football coach at the end of the day. But if you want to work for my staff, I need you to be a person who care about the kids, who going to look out for the kids, who going to build that relationship with the kids, and make sure that these kids look at you as a role model and not somebody that's only an authority figure, somebody who they thrive to be. They want to be just like you at the end of the day. That's what I look for in my coaches.
Yeah, I actually like what you said there too.
Amen.
Some of these coaches are just coaching, just for the money championship. They ain't really just coaching the kids and just teaching them about this other everyday things going on. Because some of these kids, they need role models and father figures. Because most of the time these fools, when they done with the football season, some of these coaches ain't even got anything to do with you. It's like,
man, some of these coaches, man, football season, they don't even give shit about your grades no more.
Yeah.
Fuck around, be ineligible for the spring, man. And like, that's one of the things that hurt me the most, man. I had a kid that was ineligible for the spring, but it just kind of came out of nowhere. We just expected the kid, it was one of the kids that we didn't think that his grades would slip. And so we stay on all these other kids, and then when this kid was ineligible for the spring, which means that he was slacking during football season. He was the only football player that was ineligible during the spring. he was the one person who we thought would not be ineligible for the spring. And so, you know, that hurt me. So, like, now I know when football season does end, even though we're in the fall time, I'm going to double back on these grades to make sure that my guys take care of business. So when spring roll around, I get all my kids in the springtime. And because when spring roll around, you know, when it comes with track, hey, my track kids, they know what's up. Hey, man, hey, I got stories, man. My kids be like, hey, man, Coach Smith kicked the dude off the bus. Dude off the bus? I don't care about it. Bus.
Get him off the
bus. We were going to the region finals. And I had told the kids, I said, if you don't qualify for the region finals, I'm not going to let you just miss a day of school just so you can say, oh, I'm just trying to support my team. Hey, you got to qualify. Man, I got on the bus. I had a kid on the bus that didn't qualify for the finals. I got on the bus. I said, what you doing? Get off. The kids was like, I told you he was going to kick you off.
Told you.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, mess around and find out.
Hey,
I guess.
And that's the other thing, man. Like, these kids really do like structure, man. Like, a lot of stuff that be going on, you know, when people look at the youth and like, hey, man, they you know, the youth is tough and they going down the wrong direction, which is true, but it's because people don't understand, like, these young kids, they really want structure. Like, if you structure it, they will follow. Like, people think like I need to be a friend to this kid, but like the truth is, like, as adult figures, man, we really gotta be the structure in front of these kids, because if you do it, I promise you, they'll get in line. They want somebody to guide them, but like they don't have no real guidance. And like, you know me, man, you know, my hair long, I got my beard out, I look the way I look for a reason. I tell people that all the time. I look the way I look for a reason. I need my kids to understand that it don't really matter what you look like, where you come from. If you work hard, you got a dream and you want to accomplish it, all you got to do is just strive for it, put your head down and work, and you'll get there. Don't let nobody tell you that you got to look a certain way to be a certain way or to do a certain thing. If they won't let you in the door, you make your own door. You make your own path. You go a different way if that's what you want to do, right? You don't have to fall in line with that structure. You can find your own structure and get the same thing that you wanted before, or you might find something better. But be yourself, right? Do what you're supposed to do to get your goals that you want to accomplish. Don't ever let nobody tell you that you got to be a certain way, look a certain way, act a certain way. You know, if you hung out with me at Georgia Southern, I promise you, ain't too much change except for I don't stay out till 3:00 in the morning.
I don't think any of us do that, man.
Hey, man, talking, man.
Well, hold on, Steve. Hey, Steve, man, hold on, man. Shout out to the Blue Ice parties.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Man, he don't know what he's talking about.
It's okay.
Shout out to them Alphas, man. Shout out to them Alphas, man.
Yeah, man. Shout out to Zy Top, man. The home team, man. Like I said, that. Man. Boy, like Steve said, like I said, if you know, you know. You should have been there.
You had to be there. You had to be there.
Lived it. Legends were made. That's all y'all need to know.
Hey, that little time from about 2007 to 2011,
bro.
Really about 2014, if we being for real.
Scary. Scary. Yes. Hey, man, but talking about that, being that you're teaching the kids to be good players, good students, and good citizens in the community. But you yourself, you're a father, you're a husband, and you're a head football coach. How is life at home when something may be going bad at the head coach or the teaching? Like when you come home, how do you feel? How is that? How is it all tied together? Do you during the season, do you have a lot of time do you still have time for your family, or is it just
first thing, shout out to my wife.
Yeah, there we go.
Shout out to my wife, number one, because listen, any football coach will tell you, and any football wife will tell you, that shit ain't easy being married to not even just a head coach, just a football coach in general. It's a real difficult thing because it is so time consuming. It is so time consuming. And so, you know, when it first started out, when I first got down here as the OC, it was tough. It was real tough, man. And the thing about it, man, we had a lot of discussions, a lot of heated discussions where, you know, I had been doing this long before. You know, I've been coaching long before I met my wife. And I would always use the excuse of, you know, hey, you know what you married into. Like, I told you, like, this is my dream, this is my goal. But at the same time, man, when I left Statesboro, I was at the alternative school when I was coaching at Portal, and when I left, my principal, he gave me one piece of information, man. He was like, hey, you never get that time back. You know what I'm saying? You never get that time back. And so I don't do a very good job of when I get home of like just cutting off my phone and saying, yo, I deal with everything tomorrow. Because I always feel like if I don't handle some shit or some important shit come up, I gotta answer the phone. And that's some shit I'm trying to learn how to get better at. But one thing about it, man, like my kids for sure, like, and that's why I say shout out to my wife, because she does get the short end of the stick, unfortunately, and I'm not trying to do it like I'm trying to be better with it. Like, one thing about it, like my kids, I always try to make time for them. Like my son, hey, when he leave, like my son go to school around the corner from the school I work at. So when he leaves school, he can come over there and be with me. You know what I'm saying? I want him to be able to spend those 2 or 3 hours around me, so he'll never, you know, get to a point in life and be like, yo, I live in a house with my daddy, but I never see my daddy, or my daddy ain't never around. You know what I'm saying? But what ends up happening is, you know, practice ended at 6:30, and then you gotta wait for the kids to get picked up. So you don't leave till about 7:15. I work 25, 30 minutes away from the house. So by then it's about 7:45, almost 8 o'clock before you get home. I got a newborn, so he about to go to bed when I get home. The other one who coming home with me, got to get him ready for bed because his bedtime get pushed back to 9:30. And now, you know, the little bit of time I got with my wife, you know, I try to make that up on the weekend. You know, I try to have that Saturday where it's just us. But it's still tough because if you got a game on Friday, you break down film on Saturday, you got a coaches meeting on Sunday, then you back on the grind on Monday. And so, you know, it's not an easy thing, man. And I really appreciate my wife for being understanding and being loving and being caring. And one thing about it, like, she really wasn't no football person, but hey, she 10 toes down with me now. Like, she got that. Yeah. She with it. She with it now. You know, she at every game. She bring the kids. She don't miss a game. So it's like,
she recognizes the plays that's about to unfold.
You got her in the press box or not?
But she know when one thing she know when the referee's fucking up. She knows.
That's all you need to know.
And right, because you see your long hair flying through the wind. Like,
look, she know. I have some bullshit, ref. My wife like the lady on the Blind Side. She out there like that.
Oh shit!
There we go. Sandra Bullock.
Hey man.
So yeah, man.
That's good, man. That's good, man. But hey, man, that's definitely good, man. Hey, man, we pray that y'all keep that going. You know, definitely try your best, man. Anything to make sure that home is straight. I know you're making home straight with, getting a promotion to the head coaching job. But, when you get home, hey, man, just try to spend as much as you can with your family. I know being the head coach is rough. I've seen plenty documentaries about, these head coaches and stuff, and especially the high school head coaches, because you still, like, deal with the kids at some point when they leave. Like, so have you had any crazy story? Can you give us one crazy story about you and a kid?
Or
a
parent,
football. It can be a track. It can be a track. It could be a track player or a football player, and then you can tell us a story about a parent. Because that's why I'm here. Because I'm messy. Let's go.
So I'm gonna tell you what's funny, right? So when I first started coaching, I don't know if this is terrible because I ain't really had no real major issues. I know when I first started coaching when I was still in Statesboro, I was fairly young, and I just remember like I'm 10 toes down in my philosophy. Like I don't really care how talented you are. All I care about is, are you willing to put the work in to be good? And I remember a girl when I first started coaching track, and I was addressing the team about something, and she was in the back talking with her friend, and I looked at her, I said, "Hey, did you think you were supposed to come out here and just talk to your friends the whole time?" And she looked at me and she was like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Oh, well, you could just go home then." And then she was like, "Okay," and she left, right? And then a couple days later, she came back a little upset and was saying, "Hey, coach, I'm sorry. I apologize. I really want to be a part of the team because, like, I'll get rid of one person, but like, I got the type of personality that the other kids want to still stay around. So when your friends want to be around, like, you want to come back." So she ended up coming back, and the thing is, if she ever watches this, like, she knows exactly what I'm talking about. She ended up coming back. So, long story short, that was when she was that's when she was in middle school. In high school, she was working, trying to get better. And like her very last track meet, her junior year, she was like, she had crossed that threshold. She had ran like, we was in the 4x4, and she ran like third leg. And she ran like this amazing leg, passed that out the finish line. And one thing about me as a track coach, when it come down to that time of the season, I'm at the finish line to catch everybody, right? So I catch her at the finish line. She crying. She's proud of herself. That team end up going to sectionals from nothing really. And so the upcoming year, man, she ended up getting pregnant and she couldn't run track. And she was really upset that she couldn't run track. And it was so funny because it had came full circle because it came from like, I don't really give a shit about this sport. I'm only out here because my friends to, like, I'm important and I want to be good. And like, when that had happened, I knew that I was in the right profession. Like when I started having kids, and that's that thing we was talking about earlier, where the kids cared about me as a person and not wanting to let me down. So when they weren't able to do the things that I was a part of, it kind of hurt them too. So that's when I knew, like, I'm doing the right thing. I'm in the right profession, and I'm doing it the right way. But apparently, like, I got a story. Like, I got one for sure. And the funny, like, this dude right here.
Come on.
Like this dude right here, he A1, man. He actually one of my real closest dudes out here. And one thing I'll tell you, man, he loyal to the cause. He loyal to the kids, man. He got a real good heart. He real old school. So his mentality with football ain't what it is. Like it don't really work for this generation of kids. But I understand where he coming from. But when I first got down here, man, we had we was in a dog fight with one of the schools, and we had the game sewn up. We hand the ball off to the running back. Literally, we're in a situation if the running back picks up the first down, we win the game. Like, we literally just kneel out the rest of the game. Like, that's what's going on. And, like, the running back picks up the first down, and instead of, like, just protecting the ball and getting tackled and letting us kneel out the ball, somebody come and punch that shit out, and they fumble, right? And then the other team gets the ball back. They go and score. Now we down. And, like, I'm a new OC, so it's like my first or second year down here in Savannah. And I'm still really kind of learning the playbook because it's not my playbook, but I understand it. But trying to figure out a way to get the kids in the best position to like be successful with the quarterback who's still learning the system as well. And we end up losing the game. And one of the parents in the back, like, man, that motherfucker don't know what he do. You need to fire that motherfucker. Like yelling crazy. And like at the time, like his son might have had dropped like 2 passes. And like I'm new, I'm young still. Like, all this shit new to me. So, like, you yelling and cursing at me and talking to me about me, that shit don't fly. So, I don't give a fuck. Man, how about you get your son to catch the motherfucking ball? So I told him, And so me and Bonner, and like I said, this before we really knew the guy. Like right now, man, I talk to the dude all the time. Like we graduated both of his sons. One of his sons went to play D1 football. The other one, he didn't. I don't think he really wanted to play football after high school. But we graduated two of his sons, and he still like donates to the program and stuff like that. So he A1 now. You know what I'm saying? But at the time, me and Bonner thought like, shit, this year one, shit, they finna fire our ass because we finna get into it with the goddamn parents in this game right here. So, you know, like that right there was a experience for me to learn. Like, you know, you gotta be able to like take that shit. Like it's part of it. Like when you're not just a head coach, but even a coordinator, you get to a point, man. Like everybody expects you. Like everybody look at this like the NFL or even like college. They think everything you call the 11 people that you got on the field are gonna do everything that you tell them to do, but they don't understand that. You know, these kids aren't really like football or hell. These kids barely are good enough in the classroom to understand the material in the classroom. And so you bring them out on the field, like playing football is really another class that you add. You got to learn stuff. And so we got kids with IEPs, we got kids with BIPs, we got kids with 504s. And so like they don't learn the same way. And so they struggle. And so just like when the kid see 5 + 4, he mess around and put 10 because he working too fast. The same kid, when you tell him he's supposed to step left and he step right, and it blows up your whole play. And so, you know, with that, it was just a little tough early on when we first got out here. We had a lot of arguments with the parents, but you know, it ended up coming back full circle, and a lot of the parents respect what we do now.
Good stuff,
man.
Where
everybody go?
Oh, we here. Hey, we here, bro. Go ahead, Rich. You got it.
Oh, okay. All right. Good stuff, man. But yeah, I was just about to ask you, man. So what has a typical summer been at Johnson under you, Steve? I know that you have your practices from 3 to 6 though, but in terms of the strength and conditioning and just building up to the season, man, what has the summer been like, man? Or at least the off season been like for the Johnson Adams Smashers so far?
Man, this summer's been great, man. I've out of all our seniors, the ones who've been with us from day one, the crazy thing is, man, we've had like a total of 5 absences. So like, and that's counting like, let's say 3 seniors missing the same day, right? That's 3 absences. Like, and that hasn't happened. Like we had one bad Thursday when we came back from a padded camp, and then we had one other day. But like we've had maybe like 5 to 7 total absences from the senior class. We've been going 4 days a week since June. So in June we went from 10 to 1 because I was kind of acclimating for the summer school kids. And then when we came back from the dead, we did 2 days the first week. Last week we went to Camden County for our padded camp. We went to Burke County in June for our padded camp. We had a 7-on-7. We did a little OTA with Bradwell. We did some OTA stuff, no pads with Effingham. We've had some great competition. I've gotten to see our kids grow. Our kids are committed. We've averaged, which ain't a big number, but it's been a consistent number, about 35 to 40 kids for the entire summer. And so, a lot of programs, we went down to Camden. They got 225 kids.
Yeah, sounds about right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? So, me having 35 kids, to a lot of football coaches, they might be looking at it like, well, shit, that ain't really nothing. But I know for Savannah football for sure, and not Savannah private school, but Savannah public school that's not a Jenkins or a New Hampstead, having 35 kids at your workout, 35 to 40 kids at your workout, that's a solid number. Because when we first got here, and we were doing summer workouts, they literally told Coach Bonner, shit, you probably get like 12 kids. Like, they was like, these kids ain't gonna come show up for your workouts. So like for us to start at that, where like people in the community and people in the building were saying, hey, you're not really gonna get that many kids to come work out for you, to being able to have a consistent 35, 40 kids every day, you know, it's been pretty solid, man. And we've been really on the film. We've been really studying, learning how to play football. And I think we're going to be a better football team than we were last year. I don't think we have better necessarily athletes or football players, but I think we've done enough this summer to make them better football players than they were last year. Like, we got a lot of dudes who've never started a varsity game. Like, out of the 22 starting positions, if I'm being real with you, 19 of them ain't never started. Like, they might have been backup, got some minutes, but like 18, 19 kids were never starters on varsity. So, you know, I think we're going to be fine, though. They've gotten a lot of reps against a lot of good teams.
All right, good stuff, man. I guess the leading into that question, man, how do you and your staff, like I said, man, because I know that, you know, starting or at least preparing for the season doesn't necessarily start, you know, the first week, man. Like I said, that you have to, you know, at least from some of my coaching friends, you know, they actually, you know, try to at least do some install, you know, during the summer, or at least, you know, after the kids, you know, after, you know, the strength conditioning, after the workouts, they start, you know, doing install. But at least you all start putting in, you know, some game planning for some of the, you know, teams that you have on the schedule. And looking at your schedule, man, y'all play some good teams, Steve. There's a McIntosh County. They were good back when I was in school, man. So I think that's y'all's first game. So knowing that you have a team like an MCA that's coming up on your first game, how does that affect, you know, the way that you know, go about, you know, preparing for the season? You knowing that, you know, hey, even if we don't win, if we you know, put a good showing against a team like a McIntosh County Academy, you know, we could probably, you know, look for some real, you know, positive growth, you know, come the next 9 games of the season.
Well, so like last year, you know, every year you get a 2-year contract usually, and so we played McIntosh last year, and unfortunately, when we were going into McIntosh, our scrimmage game, our quarterback had COVID. So my quarterback, who had never ever played quarterback, mind you, as a sophomore, he's going into a season, never played quarterback. McIntosh was going to be his first varsity game. And I felt like, you know, we let that one get away. I think that was the game that we could have won last year. We let that game get away from us. And so the thing that I really wanted to focus on in the summertime, like to your point, it's really about making sure you know how to play your game of football.
Yeah.
My offensive coordinator, who was our defensive coordinator last year, same mindset, very cerebral, very, very understanding of the game, very understanding of the talent that we have. And I think that he's done a very good job this summer of installing the stuff that we do, that we're going to be doing, understanding the excuse me.
You good? Yes.
Thank you. You know, installing our offense, because our offense ain't gonna be the same as it was for the past 5 years. It'll be slightly different, but getting the kids to understand what we're gonna be doing, trusting them to do it right. You know, we some hard asses, so we get on them when they mess up. But you know, going into the season, it's really not about the opponents per se. You know, you got to be able to know, you got to be able to have an identity going into the season. Who are you? What are you going to do? What do you do well? What do you do bad? What can't you do? And so the entire summer is really predicated on, hey, can you run this? Can we run that? Do we understand alignment? And what can we be successful with? What are our strengths? What are our weaknesses? And so, yeah, we know, we understand that we got McIntosh up first. But the truth is, we really can't worry about McIntosh until we play Lakeside. Lakeside's our scrimmage game, right? McIntosh is going to have a scrimmage game, so we need McIntosh's film. We can look at McIntosh film. They can look at our film. And then it becomes, it's not about the kids anymore. It's about what we do as coaches. So, like, that's what I look at. Like, as a head coach, I look at, like, we got Lakeside film. What type of game plan do we implement? for that game. When we get to McIntosh, what kind of game plan do my coordinators implement for that game? I don't want to out, even though we know there are certain teams in our region and on our schedule that we want to beat, and they're great measuring sticks to see how successful we're going to be for the season. We can't worry about those teams until we know that we're good at what we do. Because if we don't have an identity, then it doesn't really matter about how good McIntosh is or how good another program is, because we don't have an identity and we can't do the stuff that we need to do in order to be successful, throughout the season. When you play Alabama, you know what they're gonna do. When you play Clemson, they have an identity. Do they game plan? Yes, but that game plan gonna include their identity.
Right.
So it's like macking with girls. You got to use different lines, but you got the same swag.
Yeah. Pure and simple.
Hey man. I got a question for you, man. Since you're the big man on campus right now, you the head coach. Shout out to
the big man on campus, Coach Chuck.
Shout out to Johnson High School for putting our boy Steven Blotto Smith in the head coaching position. Shout out, hand clap for them young bucks. Hey, do you consider yourself a micromanager, or do you let your coaches do their thing? And
hey, that's a hell of a question, boy. Let me tell you.
That's very good.
Let me tell you
that one, T.
I'm gonna be real transparent, man. Early in the summer, okay, so my OC, I did micromanage because my OC was on the staff with us last year, so I kind of already understood we had long talks. I knew exactly what he wanted to do, and we were all on the same page. He took he took what I we good? Okay.
Yeah, we good now.
You're good.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So my offensive coordinator, he took what we do and what we were gonna do, and he kind of we already had to talk, so I didn't really micromanage that. But I will say on the defensive side of the ball, because everybody on the defensive side of the ball was new, I was micromanaging, and I had to learn how to go, okay, boom, I hired these dudes, I got to let them do their job. So, for the first half of the summer, it was real big on, I'm on, I rarely would ever be on the offensive side. I would just be like, yo, my OC, he got that shit. I'll coach the position that I'll be coaching if I need to. You know what I'm saying? Help these dudes out, whatever the case may be. But on the defensive side, man, that shit was, hey, this shit need to be around like this. Hey, I'm over at the D-line making sure they're doing this shit. I'm over at the linebackers making sure they're doing this shit. I'm going to the DBs making sure they're doing this shit. I'm calling plays. I'm doing all that shit. I was extremely micromanaging, you know what I'm saying? One of the, and the good thing is I got a lot of veteran coaching. I got on my staff right now, I got 2 dudes who are new at coaching. I got 2 dudes. One dude I coached when he was in high school. He's actually a PE teacher. And another dude, he's coached Little League and stuff, but he's new on the high school level. But the other ones, they're all veteran coaches. And so they'll come to me like, hey, coach, man, hey, let us do our job. Let us do our job. And I'm like, hey, look, it's when you got a certain standard, you want to see it done a certain way. So it was real hard for me to just if I would have stepped away a little bit earlier, maybe my DC would have did it exactly how I needed it, or he would have figured the shit out. But I don't feel like I gave him that opportunity. I gave him that opportunity. The second half of the summer, it was more so hey, coach, you got it. You got to handle that shit. I'm just going to do what I do. I'm just going to correct kids. That dude wrong, I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? And but one thing about it is, kind of with that. When I see some shit going wrong with one kid, like I'm gonna correct him, but his position coach might come to me like, "Hey, coach, let me talk to him." But I'm like, "Look, fuck, like you been talking to him." Like in my mind, I'm like, "Hey, let me talk to him now." Clearly, you ain't said what I need you to say the first time.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? But like to be honest, a lot of the time. You know what I'm saying? Before you jump into that pool and try to do that stuff. So that's one of the things, man, like when you become a head coach that you got to learn how to deal with, especially like being a track coach. Well, I don't have a real big staff. It's been like me and like 2 other people ever since I've been the head track coach, but I've always had a growing team. Like last year I had like a team of 60 kids. And so like which is more football players than I have right now. You know what I'm saying? So, like I have this big program, and I'm so used to working with the sprinters, making sure that the distance people are doing what they're doing. Every now and again, like going over to the throwers, making sure they good, and then after we do all the whole workout, going with the jumpers, making sure that they marks are good, teaching them drills, and like I'm so used to doing everything as a head coach for track that when I became a head coach of football, it was hard to let go of that same mindset. But my assistant coach, they've done a bang up job of like being patient and and working with me through that whole process. And so now I think we on the right track. We at that time of the year where we're practicing in the afternoon, so all the coaches can be there. In the afternoon, I got it's me and 6 other guys, and so all 7 of us have been at practice for this acclimation period, and it's just been it's been clicking. And so, I'm excited to see how the season turn out, man.
Very good, man. I got one last question, man. I know we've been messy. I know we've been dropping gems, but for you, this is for you. You're the new head football coach. You've been coaching track, still coaching track, been coaching football. You love each sport. You love the kids. Kids love you. But and when you get home, you got to be a husband. You got to be a father. As of right now, and you haven't coached a regular season game yet, but what is your biggest test personally for you? What do you think your biggest test is going to be as being the new head coach of this football team, and y'all trying to go bigger and better things, be 6-4 instead of 5-5, hit the playoffs again, make a playoff march, and then coming home to your newborn, your oldest son, and your wife. Where do you think is going to be your biggest test this season? We got him speechless. Yes.
No. My wife just give me 2. I'm just texting back to missus.
Hey man. See?
All right, so
take your time, bro. Take your time.
So for me, I think the biggest test is going to be dealing with the weekend. I think dealing with the weekend is going to be huge, because whether we win or we lose, I feel like there's always going to be a sense of pressure, because if we win, right, then it's going to be pressure to continue to win, which is fine. Like I kind of like I'm an adrenaline junkie, but like the adrenaline for me ain't jumping out of a plane. Is walking out on the field and everybody expecting you to be successful. Like that's the adrenaline I love. And so that Saturday and Sunday, being able to balance, like I wake up on Saturdays during football season, I wake up at like 7:00. Like, so I can have time with my family afterwards. But like really like put myself in a position to not be so tired. And push myself through and to deal with the attrition of the last 5 games of the season. Not just my own attrition, but the attrition of the kids of being just tired of, running around and playing football. Because believe it or not, no matter how much these kids love football, that 10-game season is tough for some of these kids.
Mm-hmm.
And it's really like 12, 13 weeks. Because you got your scrimmage game. Like for us, we got a scrimmage game, then we got a bye week. We got 2 bye weeks. We got a bye week after the first game, and then we got like another bye week after like game 5. Or not game 7. Yeah, we got another bye week after game 7, going into game 8. And so that long time, like even though these kids say they love football and they like football, whatever the case may be, they really it's really hard for them to deal with those last 4 weeks of the season. And so I think a big part of it is going to be me dealing with the weekend, preparing every week. Because Monday through Friday is Monday through Friday. Like, I've been doing that shit for almost 15, 16 years now. But those last 4 weeks of the season, they're always tough, and those weekends are always tough. They've always been tough for me. So I think that's going to be the hardest part. As far as teams are concerned, I don't got no one team that I'm really like so sold on. We just gotta line up and play and prepare. I don't like to give teams too much credit.
Understandable, man. So, my last question, I think it's probably more like a 2-part, and it circles back around, to what we teased earlier, though, man. But I think, it's especially what you and Coach Bonner have done for Johnson before, and I just like to just look at a bigger picture of Savannah football, because like I said, man, I spent a lot of my youth in Savannah, and like I said, man, I went to Jenkins for the first 3 years of high school. So like I said, I definitely consider myself very familiar with the Savannah.
So shout out to Coach Welsh. Shout out to Coach Welsh over there.
Oh yeah, Tony Welch. Yeah, man. In fact, I think Coach Welch was at Savannah when I was at Jenkins, man. That's Savannah High. I think he was actually there when I was at Jenkins.
He just came back from Claxton 3 years ago.
Oh, that's what's up, man. So yeah, man. So yeah, as you probably know, man, Jenkins had that rough spell back when I was in, man. But I think it was a couple of years ago when Jenkins made it to the semifinals in for the GHSA, I want to say. And said it was like a couple of years. I think back when Cameron was still there. Head
Cam
coach.
Jordan, man. He over there at Calvary right now. They OC. He just came back from Vidalia. He left after that year that they didn't make it to the championship. That loaded squad that they had over there. Super loaded. Guys that's gonna be playing on Sunday. Super loaded.
Yeah, them boys had them, man. Like I said, again, they were the dream back when I was there, man. Like I said, if he had even a tenth of that talent of that Jenkins squad, man, like I said, a lot of football careers probably would have, turned around. But anyway, I was just going to say, with what Jenkins is doing, man, what with you all, and I'm talking about Savannah, public schools, because the private schools have been on this shit, Benedictine, BC was whooping ass back when I was still in school, man. BC was always dropping 60 plus on us back then. I'm saying damn near, so of course Savannah Christian Raiders were always a problem, but now that it looks like the Savannah public schools are definitely look like they're getting into the act, and not just with the team success, we're now seeing recruiting success. I mean, we're seeing some big time recruits are now coming out of Savannah, man. As we're seeing just back to BC, man. So we're seeing Luke Krumenhoff, the third ranked quarterback of the entire nation, so committed to my Seminoles, go Noles. We got Jake Berklinger, I think.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh yeah, man, we definitely. Oh.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
Oh no.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
Don't do that, man.
Wow.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, Steve.
Hey,
I'm sorry.
It's okay, man. We done been down. It happens. It happens to the best of us, and we the best of them.
But for real though, man, like we're gonna do our college football thing, later on the show. I mean, later in the coming weeks. That's another two good listeners. And,
yes, it is.
and we talked about it last year that college football is better when Miami is actually on their ship. So all everyone will say, man, college football is actually a whole lot more fun when in Miami, and really all the Florida schools, to be honest.
Yeah, when the Florida school got it clicking, Miami, Florida is the one game I gotta go to. That atmosphere, like even on TV, that shit just looked like I gotta be there. But
my bad. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah, I need to finish my question. Saying that
we talking about that shit all day. That Miami, Florida State shit.
Oh yeah, you know, man. Hey man, we might actually invite you back on, man, for when they play, man. Because I think November. I want to say first week of November, man. Yeah, should be some good shit, man. So yeah, we might actually bring you on, man, for that week, man. If you're not too busy, because you're gonna be still in the middle of the season though. So we'll definitely see how that all looks though, my man. But anyway, I just say that of course, like I said, man, you got another great quarterback, Jake Merklinger, who I think is committed to Tennessee. I think he goes to Calvary Day, and even next year's class, you got Elijah Griffin, who goes to Savannah Christian. So I was just thinking, the uptick it seems in Savannah football, because back when I was in school, it seemed like Savannah was known as a basketball city. I mean, there's still, some good basketball in Savannah, but it looks like, the football, is definitely, steadily, coming up. Is it because that the feeder programs are now better, or is it the fact that, because it's been looked at as all because, you have Atlanta and more like South Georgia, having most of the big time kids, or Savannah just being ignored? But what do you think is like the uptick in both, the play of the Savannah teams, and, it looks like more recruits are coming out of the Seaport? What do you think has been the uptick in both things?
I'm going to be real, man. A lot of these kids have talent.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these kids are very talented, right? And so, for the past couple years, man, it's been a basketball city, but if you've really been watching, the recruits coming out of this area, it's been on the rise, but it's not really a new thing. Because even though it's been a basketball city, you've never really heard outside of Quarterman, who was tough. There haven't been a lot of dudes that are basketball players that you can name right now that have been heavy recruits. It's been a basketball area because they GHSA and they win state titles, and they're always in the Final Four, and they're always in a championship. But you got to remember, it's only like 12 to 15 places on the basketball team for college.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got way more scholarship for football. And so what's happening is you're just getting noticed, and it's getting publicized more about the kids that's coming out of Savannah. Like, shit, Nolan Smith came out of Savannah.
Yeah. Yeah, he sure is.
Yeah, what school he went to?
Yeah, he went to IMG. Yeah, I think it's last year.
He went to IMG.
Yeah, but I mean, shit, he was at Calvary.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was. Yeah, he's from Savannah. Yep, I definitely do.
You know what I'm saying? You got Kalen DeLoach, even though that's fairly new. His dad, he A1. Shout out to Rob. Like
the factory. Oh yeah, like I said, man. We call him D-Lo.
Even before then, his sister went to Ohio State, ran track. So like, there's been talent. It's just that the public schools really haven't had football success.
Yeah.
And so when Jenkins made that little run that they made and had those, like, that loaded D1 team that should have won the state title, like, that's a whole nother conversation, but like that loaded, super duper loaded team, I think the eyes turned to Savannah and said, damn, they got kids down there.
Mm-hmm.
And so now you obviously get to see more kids getting those opportunities because those ones who took those scholarships, like a Kalen DeLoach and what's my boy name that was that that was at. He was at. Listen, we had a dude. What's his name? He go to Georgia Tech right now. He play outside linebacker.
Well, I think I know who you're talking about, man. I can't think of his.
Yeah.
I can't think of his name though, but
Me
he
either.
sounds familiar. I got another one for you, Blotto. It's a Winston Wright. It said he originally went to West Virginia, transferred to FSU. It said he was an absolute problem on I think he went to what? I want to say he went to Calvary also though. But yeah,
he was at. Let me tell you, as a freshman, he was at Johnson, and one of the reasons that Bonner had took the job because he saw the kid, he was like, oh, but that kid gonna be a dog. And we got here, he had transferred with the Jenkins, but he was a dog though, right? He gonna play on Sundays. He gonna play on Sundays. He played DN, but like those kids on that Jenkins team.
and they just don't want us to be great.
Yeah, it does. It be like that sometimes.
Really
those kids on that Jenkins team, man, they took the opportunity to go be great, right? To go be great, and because they took the opportunity to go be great, it's affording the opportunity for a lot of kids that's coming behind them to get these scholarships, and that's a huge thing. So. Hopefully, man, over here at Johnson, man, we can turn the tide and get these kids in the building that have the talent and the size, and show them that, you don't necessarily you can go to a public school and be successful. Because a lot of these kids, man, the issue, you ain't even ask me about that. I ain't even gonna talk about it. You ain't gonna worry about it.
No, man, sure. No, I was about to ask you, man, what was going to be your thoughts about? Because you already touched on it, man. We were talking about, again, the University of Beaufort's. They seem like they got some fire, like some 5 person coming through their program every year, man. I was about to say, how do y'all fight somebody trying to, get transfers, quote unquote? We're just going to use that, term, because we're not trying to get anybody else in trouble around here. How do you fight transfers, from, or at least folks thinking about transferring, from your program? Who you think, actually has the
transferring from my program? I like I said before, I don't fight that. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of coaches. Here's my real, true life, honest opinion on how I feel about transfers. If a kid wants to leave me and go play for somewhere else, that's cool, bro. I ain't gonna say nothing bad about you. I ain't gonna say nothing, no lie. I ain't gonna lie about you. If you want to go somewhere you feel like it's a better fit for you, then go ahead, man. Because I want you to go somewhere where you can flourish. Like if you stay with me and you ain't happy with what we got going on over here, then it's okay, man. It's absolutely okay. You know what I'm saying? Just go be happy. But like, if it doesn't work out, like I said, I'm big on loyalty. You can't come back. You know what I'm saying? Like if your girl leave you and be like, hey, yo, I'm be with this person. Cool, babe. That's fine. Like if you ain't happy over here, go ahead over there. But shit, if the grass ain't greener, don't come back over here. You know what I'm saying?
That's real.
It ain't petty. It's just, I'm gonna do everything in my power to help you be successful. I'm gonna do everything in my power to help you be happy. But if you're not happy over here, then go somewhere where you feel like you can be happy. Like the thing that gets frustrating in high school is parents not understanding what recruiting is. And so a lot of parents think that if I send my kid to this school, they have a better chance of getting recruited. But the truth is, a lot of these kids are going into high school with offers. And that's because they go to these exposure camps and they go to these camps at these colleges and they let these college coaches get eyes on them. And so what happens is, and what's getting frustrating, and I'm pretty sure every public or every school that's trying to build up will attest to, is that you get a bunch of guys who are going to be D1 players anyway. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna be D1. The dude is 6'5", 245 pounds. He's gonna be a D1 guy. Like, that's what it's gonna be. We like legitimately right now. I got a dude. He's only played 1 year of high school football, and he didn't even start for us last year. He was at one point he was 400 pounds. Right now he's 6'5", 340 pounds. Like there are colleges that want him to like come visit and see him, and he don't even got no real film. Like he has D1 build. And so, you know, a lot of parents say, oh, I want to send my kid over there because it's going to give him an opportunity to be successful. But the truth is, what happens is you'll send your kid over there, and the only thing that happens to your kid is it stunts his opportunity to be successful somewhere else. And now, instead of him playing his freshman and sophomore year, he's not playing until his senior year. He has 1 year to make an impact. And if he doesn't have any offers going into his senior year and he doesn't have an impact, then he's never going to ever have a real chance to grow. Because there's no, like, it don't matter about, like, you can practice every day hard as you can and go hard, but there's no replication for game speed and game reps. And so if you're not out on the field, you're not getting those opportunities to get better in the game setting. And so what I've seen, and you can talk about it in Atlanta, you can talk about it in Columbus, you can talk about it in Macon, you can talk about it in Florida. A lot of times people go, oh, that program is successful already, and I'm just going to take my kids and be successful over there. Instead of going, yo, over there, they were terrible. But now it seems like that program is building up. That seems like a good place for my kid to grow and be a better football player. They rather just go ahead and put them in a setting that they think is going to help them get to the next level. But the truth is, D1 is D1. Like, there is no, if I go to this school, then I got a better try to be in D1. I hate to break it. Like, I got to break it to some of my kids, baby. If you're not 6'3", 185, 190, 200 pounds, or just a dog, just like that guy, like you, there's a couple kids that might be 5'10", 190, 5'11", 200. You know, you got those kids that can just jump out on the film at you. But, like, if you don't have that D1 build, sometimes they walk up to you, they'll look you in your face. You go to a camp, and they be like, oh, I don't want that kid. He don't got the look. He don't got the Alabama look. He don't got the UGA look. And so it's like, you know, so if your kid's not going to go D1 or go to college playing football, what are they getting out that program? And so, like, the thing that I like to pride myself on is I'm building better men. That's what I'm trying to do, man. I'm building better men. And especially being in the area, you know, you've been out here in Savannah, being a black man, I'm really trying to put them in a situation to, you know, go out into the real world and know how to handle themselves and carry themselves accordingly. And, like, just like, you know, you hear all the time, you know, women can't raise a man, blah, blah, blah. Like, ain't no better role model for a young black man than a black man who's experienced this world. And so what do you really want for your child when you put them in certain programs? That's just how I feel. So
that's what's up. What's up, man? Right, B?
Yep, I got one more question. So I know I'm really, because really to be honest, I've been only known for Johnson as like a basketball program for the boys and the girls. Do you think that the football program will ever have a chance to be up there with the boys and the boys and girls basketball team?
Realistically, man, I'm gonna tell you what it's gonna take. I got a nice little group. This season is important. What it's gonna take is gonna take the athletes that are basketball players, right? To understand that what we understood, you know, when we were in school, you really can't just specialize. A lot of these kids specialize. They only want to play basketball. They do basketball for their school, and then as soon as school basketball over, they do AAU basketball. Then when AAU basketball over, they do a summer basketball with their team and AAU basketball. Then they waiting to go into the season, and then they prepping for basketball season for their school, right? What it's gonna take eventually in these areas is like to understand when you're 5'11" and you're a basketball player, unless you're a guy that's dropping 40 points a game, it ain't gonna, bro. Basketball ain't gonna be it for you.
That is true.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
true.
5'11" ain't shit.
No, it's not.
6 feet ain't really cutting it. 6'3" is close. Like
Yeah.
you know, when we was in school, 6'3", you 6'3", damn boy. You got
Yeah.
a shot. But now, bro, hey, you got guards that are 6'7", 6'5".
Yeah.
And so once some of these basketball guys get into their head, like, hey, I'm 5'11", my ticket to the next level, even if I want to play basketball, I might need to get on the football field too. You know, and once that starts to click, you know, we get guards that come into Johnson. As a matter of fact, I'll give you this story before y'all let me go. When I first got to Johnson, man, I met a kid like 5'11". Like as a freshman, walking into the building, kid like 5'11", no, about 5'10", 5'11", like 230 pounds, 230, 240 pounds.
Dang.
I'm like, boy, you play football? This motherfucker looked me in my face and said, nah, Colt, man, I'm a basketball player. And I'm like, nigga, where? Like, at high school, but like,
What
after
team?
high school, you know, and that's not a knock, but like being a grown man, like I understand, like, cool, you like playing basketball, but do you only want to play basketball in high school? Because like with your build, the way you're built, you are a football
Yeah.
guy. Like you are a varsity player right now. And he was like, nah, I'm a football player. And then his last year, man, after he graduated, didn't get no offers, didn't go nowhere for basketball. He was like, man, I should have played football. But like, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, and I don't just blame the kids, because to me, kids need guidance. I said that before. Like, at some point, these parents need to start understanding, like, hey, give these kids other options. Don't tell your 11-year-old that he's gonna be a basketball player. Like, let him play sports. Like my son, he playing soccer, football, track, whatever he want to play. I'm gonna let his dad play until it get too expensive. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm gonna let his dad do whatever he want to do, because I don't want to ever limit him to being successful. And so, like, I think a big part of it is these parents, they don't give their kid an opportunity to grow. And like, even if they end up playing basketball in college, the strength and conditioning that you get from football is gonna help you. Like, we got a kid right now by Valdosta State named Ted. He was in running for freshman of the year. He had 7 touchdowns as a freshman, and he didn't even play every game. Like, he didn't even start the first 3 or 4 games of the season. Right? Ted Hurst, look him up. Right? He was a D1 dude. They didn't want to give him an opportunity. Obviously, he was at Johnson. Didn't nobody even want to come just look at him. I used to tell him, man, the kid's 6'4". He got a 38-inch vertical. He got a sub 4.6 40. He don't wear gloves. He don't drop balls, and he play BB. And he's only giving up for the whole season like 150 yards and 1 touchdown.
Damn.
And like, they wouldn't even come look at him. But now they have Valdosta State. We got D1 colleges calling us why he at Valdosta State, so he can transfer to one of their colleges. But like, we like, man, it's too late. But the thing is, like, when we first got here, he didn't play football his freshman year. He was a basketball player. He came out his sophomore year. He was one of the best basketball players in Savannah his senior year. And it was because his strength and speed from playing football. He could have got a scholarship playing basketball. He was smart. He was athletic. He would put people on posters. Like, and he ran track his senior year. And he made it to state in 3 events. Like, he was a hell of an athlete. But like, he got that opportunity because he just didn't go, oh, I'm only going to concentrate on basketball. He did multiple sports, and it gave him an avenue to go be great. A lot of times, man, these kids got it in their mind like, oh, I'm a basketball player. But baby, you 5'7". Like,
Right.
where you hooping at? For real?
Right.
So, you know, in order for us to get to that Johnson girls and Johnson boys, and to be in that upper echelon in the Johnson, and even in my track program where the boys just want to region, like, in order to get there, we're gonna have to get the guys that's in the building. I'm not gonna be concerned with guys outside of the building. We got people in the building who can help us be successful. We just got to get those guys to come out and play football. And if we get those guys to come out and play football, we can be just as successful as the basketball programs as well. So that's what it's gonna take, man.
Gotcha. Y'all boys got any more questions for Steve?
Yeah. No more questions, man. Just hey, man. I think you dropped enough knowledge, man, to last us definitely for the rest of the season, my man. I just want to say just thank you once again, bro. Like I said, man, this is definitely a great hour and a half of podcasting. Like I said,
right.
you shared your story. Definitely glad that you wanted to be on this platform, to share your experiences as a not just head football coach, but just coach in general, man. Like I said, but you have your track program going and just sharing your experience, just being a teacher among these young men, man. And again, just shout out to you, and definitely best of luck to you this coming season.
I appreciate y'all, man. If y'all ever in Savannah, let me know, man. Come to a game.
Oh, definitely
we'll do.
Yeah.
Please. Hey, man, y'all be blessed, man. I'm about to head
Will
out.
do, brother.
Take care,
thanks,
business.
bro.
Y'all be blessed.
All right,
Yes,
you too.
Yes.
Well, man, have a good one.
Take care.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Peace.
But yeah, man, y'all guys, listeners, man, that was a great show we had. Sorry, got to end it that way. But yeah, shout out to our boy Steve. But y'all guys got anything to say before we wrap this thing up? And my fault. And dang, shout out to Ronaldo. And Ronaldo, he couldn't be here. I know he wanted to be here, but he had to take care of some things. But
Yep. That man's on the road. Take care of some family business. Those shout out to him.
Nah, he family business.
Hope
Nah,
he made it safely.
Nah, y'all know what it is. He actually went to go see the Barbie movie. Ain't nothing to it.
Okay.
He went to go see the Barbie movie.
He didn't want to tell us.
Bust that man out like that, B? You bust that man out. Damn, son. Woo.
But nah, I'm just messing with you, Ronaldo, man. Just be safe out there. But yeah. But you guys got the shout outs though.
Man, shit, none of us, man. Just once again, man. Shout out to Coach, Stephen, aka Blotto Smith, man. Like I said, it's definitely always good, Definitely always good bringing the Georgia Southern fam on. It's another fellow Georgia Southern Greek, man. Like I said, I'm just proud of what he's been doing so far in his career. And yeah, again, like I said, I definitely can't thank him enough. And he gave us great information, gave us another, great episode, and I'm glad that we were able to share it with you all, the listeners. And if y'all like this episode, man, I said, shit, man, just give us a, like, share, subscribe on YouTube, follow the First Rounders on Facebook, follow us on all the social medias except for Pandora and except for Stitcher. Unfortunately, man, Stitcher's about to close very soon though. So
don't forget about MySpace.
Yeah, that's true, man. And of course, always give us feedback, whether you love it, you hate it, or in between. Either way, we're always gonna make better shows for you all. And as y'all know, man, we got football season coming up, so we definitely gonna bless y'all even more now. Like I said that we've definitely we've been enjoying our summer, but.
Yeah,
it's gonna be back to work soon.
Yeah, we gotta get back to work, man.
Yeah, it's back to work soon. We damn near used up all of our PTO. So it's time to get back on our bullshit. And
right.
We definitely want y'all to be there with us.
For sure. Yeah, man. Hey, shout out to Steve, man. That's my dog, man. That's my dog right there, man. Big dog from Bullitt County, man. Hey, man. Woo. It was a pleasure. It was a pleasure, Steve. It was a pleasure, man. God bless Johnson, man, on y'all upcoming football season and track season and just a school year, man. Everybody be safe, man. But shout out to my parents, shout out to my girl working right now, and shout out to my family down there in Florida, man. Love y'all, miss y'all, see y'all at some time around the holidays. And shout out to my boy B, shout out to my boy Reggie, shout out to Ronaldo. Didn't tell me he's gonna see Barbie movie, man, but it's cool. It's cool.
No judgment. No judgment for us at all.
No judgment.
Hey, that's a film. That's a film and show, man. TV show, man, right there. So hey, he gotta go check it all out. Hey, gotta go check it all out. But yeah, man. Shout out to everybody, man. And of course, shout out to our sponsor, Mr. CJ Sneaker Lab. Hey, man, go to him. He just don't do sneakers. He do everything, man. Yeah. have it look like you just got it out the just opened the box and did the reveal for sure. Shout out to Big Dog CJ, man, and shout out to the listeners. Hey, y'all keep following us, man. We gonna keep bringing y'all this fireness that we just brought. This was fire right here. If
Yes,
y'all
it
don't know,
was.
this was fire
It was
right
fire.
here.
It was fire.
Straight heat right here, baby. So just hope y'all loved it, man, and we'll see y'all on the next episode.
Yes,
Shit, man.
yes.
Well, hey, bro, that's on my mind, T, man. Shout out to you, man. We about to be out in the boonies for the next month, man.
Oh yeah, he sure is. Oh yeah.
Josh Boonies.
Yes,
for
he
sure,
is. Oh
boy.
yeah. Yes.
Straight out in the boonies, man. So y'all pray
Yeah.
for me to make everybody make it out there safely, have a good time, then get back safely, get our good training in, and then we back in and doing big things, baby. Getting ready. We're getting ready for something.
Yeah.
Y'all, that's a tease for sure.
Yeah. Man, just give a shout out to just the Johnson Atom Smashers. Like that name still kind of far for real. The Atom Smashers.
I'm not gonna lie, like I said, man. Yeah, bro, like I said, man. Johnson was one of our rivals back in high school, man. But yeah, the Atom Smashers, man. It's a unique name. I was like, well, damn.
The Smashers.
Soul C Johnson Atom Smashers.
Soul C, yep. Them and the carrot syrup makers.
Yep. I think that both the only nicknames of its kind in the entire country. So,
right. Yeah.
Shout out to them. No doubt.
But yeah, just shout out to all the listeners. We on all streaming platforms except for Pandora. Pandora need to get on they ish. They tripping. But shout out to my wife, Reagan. She out here walking, trying to get in that stuff, but it's all good.
Want to get the shotgun?
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah. But yeah, like I said, it's almost football season. We got some stuff going on. Should be good in the coming up. I want to still do my wrestling episode one day. I just got to try to get into it. I don't know. I know SummerSlam is next week. So, next Saturday.
What is it next Saturday or the couple? Bro,
not this coming Saturday, but next Saturday.
I'm not gonna even lie. I've fallen on so much with them, man. I only catch, just bite size, like literally like sound bites or like YouTube.
Yeah.
And everything when it comes to wrestling, man.
That's all you need to do right there.
Yeah, I said, if it's not the Bloodline or Judgment Day, I'm really not checking for it. I'm just going to be honest with you.
And AEW is actually getting better too. I'm loving the MJF and Adam Cole thing. I hope they keep that going for a long time until one of them turn on each other. But that's another episode to talk about. But yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I ain't got anything else, man. Y'all boys have a good rest of the night. Y'all have a good weekend. Peace.
Yeah, have a good weekend, peoples.
Peace.